Welcome to the Value Seller Talks with Deepak Bajaj, where we delve into the minds of industry experts to uncover valuable insights. Today, we are excited to have Avinash Mandelia, a startup whisperer, investment banker, fundraiser, speaker, mentor, business advisor, investor, and perpetual entrepreneur. With over 3 decades of diverse experience and relentless entrepreneurial spirit, Avinash has a proven track record of identifying and nurturing game changing startups. Join us as we explore his journey and gain insights into unlocking his venture's potential. So, welcome Avinash on the show.
Thank you, Deepak. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Before we start our conversation, Avinash, we all like to know who is Avinash as a person.
Ah, that that actually is a difficult question to answer. I feel others maybe will be able to answer it much better than me. But if I have to say who is Avinash, Avinash is a person who's passionate about what he does. I'm a person who likes to be perfect. I'm not perfect always, but as far as my reading goes, I want to be perfect in what I want to do. I'm not a person who's happy and contented to do one thing over and over again. I want to explore new things. I want to delve into new things, learn new things, teach new things. That is what I want to do. Most people whom I know over the years, means if I think it over, people think that uh, I'm a workaholic.
Mhm.
But that is actually not true. In later stages of my life, say, means I'm 50 plus now. So later stages of my life, I realized I love to travel. I love to observe people. I love to understand their culture, their history, their likes, their dislikes, what they use, what they do not use. It helps one in understanding the markets and the product requirement and the gap that exists, something like that.
Right.
I'm a, I would just like to add on a couple of more things. Means when you asked me this question, suddenly I started thinking, what am I or who am I? So it is like I'm a person who wants to achieve something. Once that point is reached, whether it is my limitation or the that product or service or enterprise limitation, I just hand it over to the next person, either to make it grow bigger than what I could do it or to continue with doing it. It is something I just want to go to the next level. I get bored by inactivity. Give
Mhm.
me a new challenge every day of life. I'm a very happy person. Means, when I go to sleep, I want to be satisfied that what I've done, I've achieved something, I've sold something. If I'm not able to do any like something like that, it gets very difficult for me to, that's why I keep on doing new startups. I keep on doing new businesses. And lately, for the past 4 5 years, I've started mentoring startups for that very simple reason that it's not possible for me to do new things every day. So it's better. I mean, I live that newness through those startups and love technology. My love for technology goes back to somewhere in 80s, early 80s maybe, when I was a kid. I remember seeing the first computer of my life at a railway station booking counter in Calcutta.
Hmm.
And that green big monitors and click to click that keys. That was something maybe people felt that it's something difficult or something, but I actually fell in love with those machines. Means that
Hmm.
was means love at first sight, I would say, and I still love them. I've been a software developer. I've left software development towards practically for quite some time now. But technology is something which I still love. That is what draws me back and back to, a startup which is into tech. I'm very much happy to be associated with those because somehow I relive those moments of my early days when computers were like costing lakhs of rupees during those times. You could not afford. We used to rent computers, go to that rental places. We used to pay, I don't remember, maybe 30 40 rupees during those times. When the bus fare was like 50 paisa, 30 40 rupees per hour ka computer ka dete the.
Right.
So that is the era. Means that is what it is. Means and I would say that about myself, I can say that I'm practically a perpetual entrepreneur and who's now guiding and mentoring startups. So someone had coined a word for me, startup whisperer, and at that time I did not knew what it was. I had heard about that movie which had come, Elephant Whisperer. So I thought means he's making fun of me, one of my clients. And then looked that up and I was like, wow, means something I've achieved in life I felt. So is that, after 10, 15 years, people who have left, who were working for me, under me, and after 20 years, 15 years, when they call up and they say that, sir, you were my first boss and we still haven't got someone like you. That is something you feel that you have done something,
Yeah, right.
especially during the initial software era. I had a lot of, at that time means there was no proper education about software. Engineering, software engineering was not there. From that era, when people call up, when those, means they are not kids anymore. For me, abhi tak wo bacche hi hai, I call them, they bacche hi hai. But when they call up and say, whether it's on birthdays or anniversary or generally, after Facebook and WhatsApp, it's become easier.
Mm.
And when they call up and say, then you feel, yes, I have done something, and maybe that's what I am, giving back something what the the world has taught me.
It's a,
That's the best I can sum up.
no, no, it's a great. So we can definitely sense out your the skills of delegation, as well as the learning. And the I always tell to each and every person whom I contact with, that mentors are the great learners. So they learn,
Yeah.
and they implement, and then they transfer that knowledge back to the society. And it's all about the people who want to adapt it. And whatever you mentioned, I totally understand. And thank you for summarizing it up. I know there are so many things, which is popping in from inside. But yeah, thank you
Yeah,
for.
means you just touched a raw nerve, I would say. Means
But this wrong nerve is gives the right emotions.
yeah.
Thank you, Avinash.
Yeah.
So, Avinash, if we look at your, impressive and the diverse careers, so could you share with us your journey, your key experiences, and what drives you to develop your entrepreneurship spirit?
Mm, yeah, means there was career, yes, I had. I started somewhere with software because that was a rage and that was something which I fell in love with. And, वो ऑफिस एक्सपेंसेस निकालने के लिए आई डिड हार्डवेयर असेंबलिंग लैमिंगटन रोड से लेकर असेंबल करके बेचना मीन दैट वाज स्टैंडर्ड थिंग डिड डीलरशिप्स ऑफ monitors, local manufacturing, monochrome monitors at that time.
Hmm.
Went into software, hardware, did movie production. I was part of a two Dada Saab Phalke award winning Marathi movies.
Oh, wow.
Uh, Long time back. That was one of the movies, was the first movie to be, screened in a multiplex, Fame at Labs, Andheri Fame at Labs. Uh, Devki. That had won all the local language awards apart from one, otherwise Guinness Book mein naam aa jata. I remember that they did not give us one award,
Oh,
Screen Award, Z Award, everything. Only one was not given because then it would have become a record. Means that is not good, Means itni bhi achhi movie nahi thi. It was good, but theek hai. And
at that
did TV
time.
serials, produced TV soaps. World's first TV soap on the net live, as it was getting telecasted on DD. At that time, DD was there in India. We did not have Star Plus.
Doordarshan.
Doordarshan hi tha sirf. So we did that, and it was getting telecasted live on the net. So it goes on and on. Went from software to manufacturing to automobile OEMs to chemical manufacturing. I'm still in that. A lot of things. But when you say what are my key experiences, when you say, be ready to adapt to change. There
Hmm.
were situations which made me change my journey. I was into software. I'm a hardcore software guy. I
Hmm.
was the first batch of NIT's GNX program,
Hmm. Okay.
and for doing, I was staying in Goregaon. I used to travel to Fountain because that is where that program, Fountain and Nanman Point. That is like, means today to traveling मैं सोचूंगा भी नहीं इतना लंबा. That time it was like used to take me around 45 minutes to 1 hour to reach there. And there were enough centers nearby, but they were not having that type of faculty.
Ah.
So I was one of the first batch from NIT GNX, which was a 4.5 years software engineering program. There were only two institutes, NIT and Aptech.
Hmm.
Maybe a couple of smaller ones trying a DTP over, I'm not aware. But time and certain scenarios made me change my line. And you have to adapt to change. Whatever the reason is, if I just put up my hand, I was having a software company which was having like 70, 80 odd staff during those times. We were competing with the likes of, in tenders, we were competing with the likes of HCL and Infosys for government tenders. And we won also some of those tenders. We were one of the first initial ones to do mm, websites in the net. Rediff was our competition during those days. And, you know, there were different times, but then that company faltered because of this 9/11 happened. We had a lot of customers there.
Hmm.
So
Uh,
normally you were having a company which was going to come up with IPO for like 2000 crores, and one day morning, in the evening, you realize that, okay, khatam, sab kuch zero ho gaya. And then again, you have to get up and do it again in the morning. So that is what I learned from there. That okay, I did it, means I did not do it with my father's, this thing, no, with my father's funding or anything. Hard goal self-made only. But when you lost everything, you had to have that courage in you to go ahead and again tomorrow morning fight it out. कल
true,
लड़े थे ना आज वापस लड़ लेंगे, because you cannot lose.
true.
That is a mindset one has to learn, because when you are having a startup, means, or any company, not just a startup, when you are having anything, when you are even when you're in a job,
Hmm.
you might lose a job today. So you need to have that mindset to fight it out. You will face problems. That's part of the journey.
Correct.
Means if you do not have that negative part of the journey, means you cannot appreciate the positives of the life. Means
Right.
I am very lucky to have a very supportive family before marriage and after marriage both. Very good friends. Some of them are excellent friends. That is part of the journey which I learned. You need to collect people. Means money will come and go, things will come and go. People will always remain.
So,
My first driver, although he's no longer my driver, he's अभी भी उसके फोन आता है regularly. Although I cannot afford him now, he's become too expensive. He's running his own cab service and all that in South. But he still says कि सर कोई जरूरत हो तो बोल दो, अभी छोड़कर आपके यहाँ आ जाता हूँ वापस. He knows I cannot miss. You cannot break a driver who's running his, who's having his own 15, 20 cabs. But
right.
that, you know, वो public people को जो management है, people, you have to
Relation.
love people and they have to love you back. They are the only things which will go with you. Whether it's family, friends, staff, employees, colleagues, you
Hmm.
need to have that. That is a means, I would say every entrepreneur should collect people whom you can bank on blindly at 12 o'clock in the night also. You just have to have that thing. You pick up the phone and say, Deepak, तकलीफ है आजा.
True.
And then Deepak should not ask क्या तकलीफ है, क्यों तकलीफ है, क्यों. Deepak should just put on his dress and come. So that is what you need to learn, and that is the, I would say, the experience I've gained, that I have been lucky enough to have those type of people with me. Out of hundreds, thousands of people I've interacted with during this 30, 35 plus years of my working life, means I have a good number of people whom I can bank on at any time of day or night.
Now this
That
is
is one thing which I feel any entrepreneur should have within him. Secondly, you are going to face problems in life, means it's part of life.
right.
Do not get disheartened with it. It's means if I look at my life, I had my clients as like the top notch Fortune 100 companies of India as my clients. When my company fell down, I had no one as my client. And then luckily I was able to go again, and now those people are still my friends. Most of them are still my friends. We still connect together.
Hmm.
So never say die, I would say. Never say die spirit should be there for any entrepreneur. Then you can succeed. At least morally, mentally, you can succeed. See, whether you have that type of money, you have got 10 Mercedes or one Maruti 800, doesn't make a diff. If you have got people who love you for who you are success in your life.
Right. It's a very important message because nowadays the people are, as the way that the families are getting nuclear and the mentality is also getting changed from we to I. I I'm 100% sure that your message and your experience, especially with the people, to take as a community or as a the people magnet, I should say, is a great boost for a lot of audience who is listening to this podcast. Thank you, Avinash, for that.
Thanks. Yeah.
So I'm now move from your expertise, which you're known in the market to identify and nurture innovative startups. and you talk about it also. So what qualities do you look for a startup for to get identified, and how you help them to unlock their full potential?
When I look at a startup, uh, I personally do not look at the product or service in which they are dealing in. That is not the first step which I do. I look at the team. I look at the founders and their core team, because products may come and go. They might change. You will have competition. You will have to change your product. You might have to drop your product. But as a team, if you are uh, you trust in each other, then you
Hmm.
will succeed. So my first thing which I look in a startup is that their team should be strong enough. The team should trust each other. That is what should be there. And then I look at the product and the services, the market fit and all that. Now, the second part of the question, what you're asking is how do I unlock, help them unlock? I just guide them. I look at the product. See, a person who started a startup, a person who's thought of a product or a service, they are the best person of regarding that product. I'm not, you are not, no one is. But
Right.
a lot of time what happens, you don't know what is your USP, what is the requirement that you have created, what you have found out. I'll give you with the example of one of my startups. Uh, they are into fintech. I'm mentoring them, advisor to them, also helping them in the fund ways. They are into fintech. Uh, what USP they were saying to me was something they were fighting with around 20 other people in the market. They were
Hmm.
saying they are better, faster, yes, but anyone else can become. Means they were competing with the likes of Paytm and BharatPay to be precise.
Correct.
And it took me couple of months to, because I liked those people and I liked the team, and I said "Ki they have something, but even I was not able to find out."
Hmm.
So it was like a couple of months with maybe 15, 20 interactions. And I found out one of the products, one of the service which they were doing, no one in the world is doing. That's around, a rough estimate is $900 billion market size. No one in the world is doing. Means I would not say no one. I'm mistaken. There is a company who's doing it in Central America, only catering to Central America. It's about international payment gateway for a particular type of service. They're only doing Central America. That's a PayPal company, Zoom, Elon Musk, ex Elon Musk company.
Hmm.
There is a bank, Federal Bank, which is doing it for GCC, and that's it. No one else. No one thought about it. And they did not think that's the USP. They were talking about the other thing. So that is the type I took out. They are doing utility payments. Means you try to make a bill payment for, say, phone of Nepal. Nepal service का जो भी वहां पर service provider रहेगा, you try to
Hmm.
make a mobile phone का payment,
Hmm.
cannot do it.
Hmm.
Sitting
Correct.
in India with Paytm or any other this payment gateways, you cannot do
Hmm.
it.
Hmm.
There's no way you can do it. Imagine your daughter is going to say London. Local there she has taken a Vodafone number. Obviously, she's going to study there. She's taken a local Vodafone or whatever the service provider is there.
Yeah.
She's taken a number. How will she make the payment? India may you cannot give cash to recharge your phone. There is no, nowadays there is nothing left. You need to make it online.
You're online.
How will she do it in London? There's no way.
Hmm. Hmm. All
So
right.
that service doesn't exist. He thought of it because he faced the problem. But when he was pitching for the payment part, the other part, not this part. So that is how we understand what they do. We put ourselves in the shoes why they are doing what they are doing, and then find out the USP from it. That's how we help them. Means they are not the only ones who are giving us answers. We are not giving them answers.
Hmm.
We are asking we are asking the right questions to them, to be precise. They
Right.
know the answers, but no one has asked them the question. That's how we help them.
It's all about the vision, right? The way you have seen the world and the way they have developed it, and there's
Yes.
a lack of the correlation, I must say.
I'm looking at it from the top view. Means
Right.
they are doing it, so they can only look at with sort of like a blinkers.
Like that.
But I'm not connected to the startup. Means that obviously their loss, it hurts, but commercially it doesn't happen. Nothing happens to me. I'm running my own business. I'm running my own show.
Hmm.
So they are afraid to look at from a larger perspective. They are afraid, especially when before they have raised funding.
Hmm.
They are running out short of cash. Family pressure is there. They might have left some job and doing it. All that liabilities and
Very
all
much.
that pressure is there. So they are not. They are just looking at कि ये करो funding लेकर आओ, go to the next round, get some profits. That is what they are looking at. So
Right.
maybe as an external person, I'm able to see that. That is what I look at. What the startups are not looking at, what the founders are not looking at. I try to look at from that angle.
That's
That's
where
what I said earlier, that when I travel, I look at a lot of things. Even when I'm traveling by car, I look at वो board कैसा है, कैसी language में लिखा है, what is the type of stuff that is in that shop.
Hmm.
It somehow gets registered somewhere in the back of your mind.
Yeah, yeah. And it happens automatically also nowadays.
Yeah,
When
it just keeps on happening. Means एक time था उसके लिए मेहनत करनी पड़ती थी, you know,
right,
but now your brain is wired for that.
right,
Means maybe it helps because you are also not that young. I am also pretty old. And when we were all were doing things, these things were not easy. There were not smartphones. There were no phones.
mm,
Means यदि बॉम्बे टू दिल्ली फोन करना है तो ऑपरेटर को बोलना पड़ता था लाइन लगा कर दो.
right,
And we had seen those difficult times, so we look at things differently. We
right.
have seen pre-telephone, means वो ऐसे घुमा घुमा कर फोन करना पड़ता था. I have
So,
at least seen that era. Extension लेना है तो वो MTNL, जैसे in Bombay we had MTNL, so you have to pay extra per month for extension of the same line within the same house. हॉल
mm,
से रूम में लेना है तो 100 रुपीज पर मंथ एक्सटेंशन का पैसा देना पड़ता था, रेंटल. वी हैव
right.
सीन दैट एंड नाउ मींस multi SIM card mobiles are like common. My
Mm.
kids have that. Means so we have seen those challenging times. Maybe it helps people in our era to understand it better. Maybe. Means that's my thought.
No, I totally understand from where you're coming from, and definitely the time has changed, but yes, the basics remains the same, right?
Correct.
Right. So what you mentioned, I can say, the basic and the fundamental one has to be very strong, and yeah, that's how the next generation will also learn.
They are. Now generation are very smart. I mean, they
Yeah,
are very smart and very fast. The current generation is.
correct. Correct. So, specifically on, as you mentioned about the fundraising and investment banking. So, what do you
Mhm.
see as the biggest challenges and opportunity for startup in today's dynamic market environment? Although you have given a one pointer about the vision of from a higher angle and versus the founders who are doing in a narrow frame
Yeah.
of the glass. Yep.
When I say the challenges, today's startup are facing a lot of challenges compared to maybe like I would say 5 to 10 years ago. Reason being, a lot of technological advancement are there. They need to keep abreast. Even if you are creating a startup for say physical goods,
Mm,
but still you need to be to promote it, to push it. You need to be technologically very savvy. So that's a very big challenge for any startup today, any founder today. Technology is changing very fast. Means to be very honest, if I have to do something on my mobile, if I have to do some changes, I tell my kids to do it. It takes me a lot more time to read, understand, go to the settings than my kids. They just know it. They're picking up the phone, that model for the first time, and somehow they already know it.
yeah.
So, but that is a biggest, very big challenge for any founder to keep abreast of the new technologies. Uh, then another challenge is, you know, everything has been done. So you need to find something new out of what has already been done. Today, if
Correct.
someone wants to create a payment gateway, there are 10 payment gateways. So you need to find some USP which will make you different, which will make people utilize your gateway. So that's a very big challenge today because so many things have been done. The the opportunity window has become narrow.
Correct.
That is one thing. But on the other hand, if you find that niche, there are n number of people ready to help you, guide you, mentor you, invest in you, take it forward. So that's the opportunity which is there. Although the opportunity window has narrowed, but once you are able to find that opportunity, help is on the way. Means help is there. You have got n number of people believing in you, taking that risk along with you, which was not there earlier. Now the investors know that's a risky thing. They know uh, out of the total ventures which they would support, maybe 10 to 20% maximum would survive and make money, but still they are ready to take the risk on the remaining eight. So
True.
that opportunity is there. Uh, so it's like a catch 22 situation. The opportunities are limited, but once you find it, there are enough backers for you.
Right. Right.
And as I said, this thing tech keeps on changing. The people way of utilization keeps on changing. Uh, the negative point is there is no loyalty. Means I see it in myself. I'll check something on say Amazon and then check again on Flipkart to see which is cheaper.
Hmm.
And chances are if it's something which is locally available, I'll call up my local guy and ask him कितने में दे रहा है. मेरे को online इतने में मिल रहा है.
True.
Means I have gone to Chroma to buy a TV and shown him कि boss Sony का है देखो इतने में मिल रहा है. Are you ready to give or I'm placing an order for it online?
In
Finally,
front.
the warranty service support is Sony. You are not the one.
Hmm.
So loyalty is gone. So that's again a big challenge.
Correct.
But again, you have to find the niche, enough niche out there. Tech is evolving. People are using tech. So enough opportunities there.
Hmm.
And business, you have got opportunity to go in. Smaller businesses are thriving once you know to find your niche in it.
Hmm.
People are ready to support you.
And if I look at the flip side, so if you're already connected with the customer and giving him the right experience, so they are ready, the same customer is ready to pay and buy the same product in a higher price. That is also
Yeah,
happening.
that
So
is also there.
yeah,
So that is for something which has got a regular this thing. Say a kirana wala.
yeah.
Means I no sorry, that's a wrong example. वो Instamart वाले ने वो भी निकाल दिया अभी. Means they deliver to my house faster than I can go down and buy that same stuff. Means घड़ी से देखकर 7 to 8 minutes में the delivery is there. Means if I go downstairs in my building के नीचे एक small kirana shop is there. If I
Yeah,
go down tell him कि ये दो वो देगा मैं ऊपर आऊंगा, I take more time.
it's more time. Correct.
I don't know how they are doing it, but hats off, they are achieving it. Although they are not profitable still, but they are achieving it. They hopefully they'll become profitable one day.
That last mile connectivity is one of the parameter of the customer experience.
Yes, means COVID has made everyone lazy. To be honest, पहले नहीं था ऐसा.
Yeah.
It has made everyone lazy, and that has opened a whole window of opportunity for startups. Whole
Hmm.
big window, I would say, opportunity for startup by making everyone lazy.
True. True. Right. And that comes with the guaranteed plans as well.
Yeah.
So that will also compel the person to go online.
Huh. And Geo has made everything cheaper. Online is cheap. You got unlimited data. Means, but Reliance, I would say, has made it. That's an opportunity which it knew. Indian, I remember using mobile phones at 16 rupees 80 paisa per minute, incoming or outgoing both sides.
Hmm.
A lot of time we used to make, blank calls. कि phone कर दिया, dial up हुआ. Now the person will mobile छोड़कर landline से will call up.
Yeah.
Arcom made it cheaper. Geo made it like it doesn't have any cost. 200 rupees a month for unlimited means क्या है 200 rupees में मिलता क्या आजकल.
Right. Right.
ऑटो से स्टेशन जाता हूँ 200 रुपये आने जाने का लग जाता है.
Hmm.
You know, 200 rupees practically has got no value left. It is valuable, but कुछ बचा नहीं है, ऐसा कुछ बड़ी चीज नहीं बची.
Hmm.
लेबर का पर डे का सैलरी उससे ज्यादा है.
Correct. Right. Rightly. Yeah.
And they have helped in this startup ecosystem very much.
And the power of data which opened everything. You are now
Everything.
in front of everyone. The beauty of the internet.
True. I remember, means I'm just digressing from slightly from the subject. I remember long time back, I was discussing a plan with this guy, Sunil Bijlani. He's a brother of Sangeeta Bijlani, if you know, old time actress.
Hmm.
And I was doing some work for him, some software work at that time. And he was working on, connecting all the theaters together and telecasting it from one location, what is now common. And the biggest hurdle we found was there was no way, the data was too expensive. It was cheaper to send the reels to each theater and let them telecast. To save on the logistics cost, he was working because he was in partnership with another guy. They were into film distribution, means this part also. So he was thinking of digitizing the whole thing and telecasting it directly
Hmm.
so that the theaters need not be sent reels. You know, releases can happen simultaneously all over India or all over the world. And we did the basic software part of it, found it is feasible, for practical to do everything, blah blah, everything done. The internet, every theater needs to get a lease line. Not possible, not practical. It doesn't have, it is not available. Forget the cost. It is not available at that time.
True.
So we had to drop it. And now it has become like, I think that is how it is done nowadays. Means physical bridge do not go to the theaters. It is
Hmm.
digital.
And digital. Yeah, we call it digital highways.
Yeah. Digital highways. Yeah.
Right. Great insight. Thank you. Because this type of, the generation, the today's generation doesn't know about all these practicality because everything has been come to them as a platter. But yes,
Hmm.
the nowadays with the coming up of this AI and ML based applications is now using the complexities of data and giving the real insights. But yes, the logistics which has been used to set up these lease lines or maybe over the air, I should say,
Hmm.
that has been that has been done beautifully, and yeah, lot of mobile
Yeah,
operators putting their focus on to that.
no one realized the जो हिंदी में बोलते हैं नींव रखना. No one realized that there was decades and generations who did these things. So today we are having AI, ML, and everything ready-made. Means you don't know something, you just ask and it will tell you. It's like that.
Exactly, exactly. So, specifically to the Marvar mentors, so your
Hmm.
team focuses on empowering startups and fostering innovations. So, can you tell us more about your vision specifically for the Marvar mentors and how you strategically pair startup with investors?
When I started Marwar Mentors, my whole idea was to help the startup. Basically, mentors. That's what it was, mentor. And Marwar is because I'm from Rajasthan, so I wanted to somehow relate back to my native place, so I use that word Marwar. And that was to help the startup, advise them, mentor them, and guide them. Uh, my vision was to guide them, and the biggest hurdle I found with most startups, even if you have a very good, fantastic idea, they don't know how to present it to the investors. Although
Mm,
they don't know how to present it, period. That
true.
is one thing which they missed because they are looking at standard ways, they are looking at standard YouTubers and all this thing doesn't help. Investors are still, even the young investors are old committee. Means the person having the authority to sign a check is normally past 40,
Yeah,
normally.
yeah.
So their mindset is slightly different from the current startups age group that is there. And uh, that was my vision to combine them together um, and match it to them. And when I want to matching it with startups, uh, I look at the startup, what is the startup's core focus area? I look at investors, which type of investors are investing in that area. Not everyone invests in every type of startup. Even if the investment firm or a VC firm is sector agnostic, still they have a leniency towards some different areas. So I
Mm,
look at that investors which are in that area, which have got some projects, which have invested in projects which will complement this startup. Either maybe one of their invested project will become a vendor or supply, or maybe they'll become the customers. So there's an internal exchange of revenue between startups. So that is how I try to pair the startups with the investors. Although that way I would say is not always the case in the angel round, because angel round you are just looking at investors who are believing in you, putting in that first check that is required, but more in the second round, maybe in the seed round and pre-seed round and seed round. That is where I looking at that synergy. So then, uh, the investors understand the startup, the pros and cons, the problems, and the startup understands that okay, if they have a problem, they have someone to back them up.
true. Right.
So that is how we look at pairing it up, and that was the main vision behind forming Marwar Mentors. That okay, I wanted to help the mentor the startups to reach a level. I wanted to create a environment. There are some people who are already doing it. So means I'm one of those that okay, what I could not get during my startup days, when means it was not known as startup during my days,
Mhm.
and what I could not get help in those days, so at least provide that help. And lot of people I found in this ecosystem are charging money from the startups at the initial stage. They call it
Mm,
onboarding,
yeah.
which to be honest, I don't believe that there's something known as onboarding. That's just another way of making money. If you believe in the startup, put your 100% behind it, make them a success and take a cut out of it. Na?
Okay. Yeah.
Don't charge upfront. The startups do not have money. I have traveled that bus. Means we did not even have money at that time when I was doing my own first startup. Did not have even money to means रास्ते में प्यास लगी तो एक गिलास वो पानी का 1 रुपए का पी ले. We did not even have that spare money.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Every startup is facing that problem till they reach somewhere. So why
True.
do you want to charge onboarding to them?
Yeah. True.
Take from their success, take a share from the success, predefined it. Take some, maybe some advisory equity from them. That okay, you are putting your time, effort, money, energy behind it. You are
Mm.
also risking. So you become a sort of investor in them.
Correct.
If you don't believe in them, please leave them. Someone will take care of them. You should not charge onboarding. Means because I've faced it with n number of companies who are doing it,
Mm.
and means I get n number of those type of companies sending it the pitches to me saying, "Ki, can you help them?" I said, why do you take money from them?
Mm.
I also share pitches to similar people to help, but I don't take any advance upfront money
Correct.
because, and there are a lot of people who are not taking, means I have not done anything new, means there are a lot of people who are not taking any upfront money, and
Yeah.
that is the way it should be. If you believe in that founder, believe wholeheartedly. Otherwise, do not sell false promises. Say you are taking this money for doing a thing. No guarantees, no promises, nothing.
Mm.
Which is where I created. That is was one of the other reasons why I created. I found that people are cheating startups. Young guys fresh out of college or just ek do saal job kare with a
Mm.
dream, with a thought process. They are putting everything behind. They are working like 17, 18 hours a day, and they see that okay, 25,000, 50,000, they can get funding. That is not the case. It doesn't happen like that. 25,000 वाला यदि आदमी यदि आपको फंडिंग दिला सकता है देन मीन्स टू बी ऑनेस्ट वो खुद के लिए फंडिंग ले लेता.
Correct. Correct. It's a fishy game.
It's a fishy game. They are making good names in the industry. Who are you doing it? They're doing it's wrong. That's why I thought okay, let me be a part of the gang which do not charge upfront. मैं advisory लेता हूँ. Some people say it is not that I do not, but they are the people who can afford to pay. They are not fresh startups who do not have any backing. They are the people who have got backing. So I'm giving them that much value for money for which I'm taking because I also have a stomach to feed, boss. So वो तो करना पड़ता है.
Right.
But not from people saying कि onboarding fees. I mean, what is onboarding? क्या कर रहे हो आप?
Okay. Yeah. Agree. Agree. And basically, you pointed out a very important message. Put your skin in the game and
Yes.
make
If
them
you
successful.
trust, do it.
Yeah, yeah. And if you don't, so say openly, like the person who already spent 17, 18 hours a day, they will definitely spend another 1 hour to improvise
Yes.
based on your feedback. So
Yes.
yeah.
That is the reason I means a lot of people say to me that why don't means I had a graphic studio also and a post production studio also at one time with
Hmm.
partnership with others. As I said, I've done n number of work over a period of time. But I can create pitch decks. That's not a problem. But I don't do it. I don't have anyone in my office to do it. I have not kept anyone who is able to who's going to do it. When there's a pitch deck is wrong, I tell them that ABC things are wrong. Please get it, do it yourself or get it done from someone else. I will not do it because मेरे को भी वो ना that लालच आएगा कि okay 20,000 मिल रहा है एक स्टाफ की सैलरी निकल गई लाइट का बिल निकल रहा that somewhere back of the mind you have that greediness. So I don't take money. I say recommendation, zero recommendation, net पर ढूंढो कर लो. Don't ask me
Hmm.
because I can recommend my friends who have got graphic studios. I can recommend people,
Hmm.
but then somewhere or the other that person is going to recommend something back to me. कहीं तो वो that commercial deal is going to happen. Then I'm going to look at every startup कि अच्छा इसको उसको recommend करूंगा. I'll get this much out of it. ये इतना थोड़ा सी सॉफ्ट है इसको 1 लाख का बिल बनाया जा सकता है 20,000 में घर पे आ जाएगा
Hmm.
समवेयर वो लालच आएगा. So
Right.
do not do anything which is not your core area. I say I will not do it. I'll help you. I'll tell you what is wrong because that's my job to guide you that what is wrong. I'll
Hmm.
not do it for you.
Correct. And
Case in
make
point, I've done it for a couple of people. वो एक relation बन गया zero cost free cost मैं खुद बैठ कर रहा हूँ.
Hmm.
I have not given it to outsider. एक जन को outsider से करवाया at my cost. You know that after a certain time you have got that relation एक हो गया. And I
Correct.
have, as you said, put my skin in the game. So I said, no, मेरे को ही करना पड़ेगा. उसके पास पैसे नहीं है तो मेरे को ही करना पड़ेगा.
And that's the role of mentor and advisor, right? So
I
it's
guess so. I mean, that's how I've learned from a lot of people in the industry who have achieved a lot. Means, angel funds and all that. The founders of that, if I look at some of them, I see, yes, they have put their skin in the game. Now, look at, they have got a respect in the market. Means, you tell their name, people say, yeah, what's, if that person has put a fund, if that person has put a like, you have done something. So try and become something like that. That
true.
in the market you have got that respect and reputation.
Totally, fully. And it's an important message to a lot of the people, specifically who just want to make it as a cash cow. It doesn't work like this.
Don't spoil the ecosystem. Means today you have got a whole generation of people who feel that if they have a good idea, if they are means they have got option to do something.
Yeah,
So don't spoil that option to them. Don't
agree.
make them negative that okay ये इसमें तो सिर्फ पैसे लगने ही वाले हैं, मिलने वाला कुछ नहीं है.
Hmm.
Don't give them that thing. थोड़ा
Correct.
let the option be there.
Correct. No,
As
no,
an advisor, you have to safeguard yourself and everything. सब कुछ ठीक है, but do not fleece them basically.
hmm, hmm. No, no, agree. I totally understand, and this is a very right message to the whole community. So I move to the next point, specifically your involvement in the initiatives such as eCell at IIT Mumbai, Startup India, and so many others. So how important the mentorship in this startup ecosystem, which you feel about, although you are giving it, and what does it impact on the success of emerging ventures?
Mentorship is crucial. As I'm saying, as I said earlier also, mentorship is crucial because a entrepreneur they might have one type of knowledge, two type of knowledge, they will not have the whole gamut of knowledge unless until that entrepreneur has uh, put in X number of experience in different fields. So
Mm.
that is where the mentor comes in. That whatever knowledge, whatever where the gap is, that is where we as a mentors we fill in the gap. Now, when you mentioned eCell and eCell IIT, I was fortunate to be part of the jury and the mentorship team, and I found that couple of good startups means which came across for me to at the time of mentoring, and I found they lagged in the. For example, one project was there, one startup was a fantastic product he had, and he did not know how to create a financials for it. So he had got rejected at two or three places because he could not portray that how will the startup make money, how will the product make money. So that is where a mentor could help him and solve that problem for him. That guided that do it this way. So this is one example. There are a lot of n number of things which a mentor helps in. Means you need to take on mentors that who are expert of that particular field where you lack, and you might have a generic mentor who can guide you that what you are lacking. So mentorship is very crucial. Means you look at it like any other business. Means say for example, I have a partner in a chemical industry, chemical manufacturing, and we have advisors for that. Means
Yeah.
our team, our R&D team do not know everything. So we have external advisors, we have CAs as advisors in the financial, we have CFAs as advisors for the financial parts. So mentorship is something like that. You need to have mentors to guide you and help you wherever you are lacking.
Mhm. Right.
Because it is not possible to have employees for every area till you grow to a certain level. Even when you grow to a certain level, you still have advisors. You
Correct.
have paid advisors,
Mhm.
to be precise.
Yeah.
Here, mentors are, I've seen during my IIT sale thing and couple of other, just like I feel and all that I had gone, and there were a lot of mentors who were giving their free time to the students to develop, nurture this ecosystem. They were giving some time, no charge. Means I've been to a lot of places, I have taken workshops on how to run a startup, how to think about it, and lot of means most of the places I've even put in traveling was from my pocket.
Mm.
मीन्स ठीक है स्टूडेंट्स है क्या करेंगे दो दो सौ रुपए उनसे जमा करके लूंगा क्या अपना ट्रैवलिंग का बिल का यू नो दैट
Correct.
इज समथिंग विच इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड तो एंड देयर लॉट ऑफ मेंटर्स हु आर डूइंग इट फॉर दैट ऑनलाइन में ऑफलाइन सेशंस so they are doing it and it is I feel it is helping the startups. Means
Mm.
that is the feedback I have got from these e-sales and other places and from other colleges that they have got regular mentors also they have got this visiting mentors and it does help in filling in the gaps where the startup is lacking.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, mentorship is important. It's basically I also call it in another word again. It's a hand holding execution.
Yeah, perfectly,
Yeah.
perfectly true.
Yeah. Because
It's
at
like you have a father figure who is guiding you.
correct. Exactly. Exactly. Because we can think about making a bigger NASA rocket sort of project, but we don't know from where to start. And what
Correct.
happened after after taking few steps.
Yeah. Or maybe you have created the whole thing and now next what?
Next what? Next what?
So
Yeah.
someone with that experience and knowledge can just guide you in that.
True. True,
You know,
true.
for my projects also, for my work also, I take advice from people. Means no one is complete. Means
Hmm.
the day a person says that person is 100% perfect and complete, that person is God.
True. Right. Hey, even today also with so much years of experience, I also have a mentors. I always take a lot of guidance from them because the way they have seen the whole the picture is totally
Hmm.
different from what we are
Correct.
doing from the bottom. Right.
Correct. Absolutely true.
Moving to your the next tag, which is you have been called a perpetual entrepreneur. So how do you take a startup from a simple idea to a successful business, and what are the steps which is important and critical in their transformation?
Perpetual entrepreneur was called to me by one of my friends and partner. Uh, we have a sort of love-hate relationship, I would say. Every couple of years, I would say, boss, बहुत हो गया अभी तू ये कंपनी संभाल मैं जा रहा हूँ दूसरा कुछ करने. So he said कि you can never sit doing the same thing. Although we are partner for more than 20 years now, running the
Hmm.
same industry, I don't go look at it that much as much. He is 100% devoted to it. I call myself a firefighter. If there's a problem, I'm there. If not, सब चल रहा है ना ढंग से staff चला रहे ना, why bother? I love to do new things. And that's how means he only had termed it in that way to me. And when you talk about taking a startup from a small idea to a successful business, I can relate it to a very new startup which I've got attached right now as an advisor to them. Uh, it is something related to AI based recipes which are healthy, which are nutritious, and which are based on the ingredients that you have, and it is not like the other AI. Means in a chat GPT, if you put in say five things that I want make something of these five things, it will mix all those five and make something whether you can and 90% of the time you cannot eat what chat GPT does because it doesn't know. It is not a cook.
Yeah.
It will just do it theoretically. You have got these five things, okay, ये combination में डाल दो because theoretically it matches.
Hmm.
So now this guy has had this idea. He is developing on it. Prototype is already ready. And then I said, "Okay, how will you means make money out of it? Why will someone put money behind it? You require X amount of rupees to grow to the POC level. Why
Hmm.
will someone put money? Means you create a recipes, you have tied up with chefs and all that. Everything is fine. You are creating the AI is creating a recipe intelligently based on the person's taste and everything. Why will still someone give you money for it?
Hmm.
Where are you going to make money? His answer was that he'll charge the users a small subscription fees. I said वो Spotify का 50 रुपए तो कोई देता नहीं है.
Hmm.
उसमें वो यूट्यूब में जाकर फ्री में सुनते हैं.
Hmm.
Spotify का एड सुन लेते हैं. 50 रुपीज अ मंथ कोई नहीं देता है उसको.
Hmm.
And someone is going to pay you money for looking at your recipes. Not possible.
Hmm.
So there we added that okay, you link it with all this grocery stores.
Hmm.
You take up a recipe, you say I don't know, say Punjabi chole banana, and you realize you don't have chole at your house. So you
Hmm.
say order, it should link up with Big Basket or Instamart or whatever, and that should get delivered to you. Add a value to it. Then you have an income. You are not charging anything from the customer not from the user. You are charging from the B2B guy because you are the sales point, so you are charging that sales commission.
Hmm.
So these are the things. That is how means we convert into a successful business. And now these are live example which I'm just working with this startup. It's not even launched it yet. He's
Hmm.
going to launch it in the next
So,
roughly 4 to 6 months. It will take him to have a proper MPV. But that is how means he had a very good idea. He had done a sample thing, and what was lacking was a business sense in it. So we added the business that okay, you already have it. Patch on this. This will become perfect. So now this was just the first step. There are a lot of other things which are getting into it to make it perfect. So that is how we take a startup. We look at the idea. We find what is missing, whether a business plan is missing, uh, whether product market fit is missing, what is missing in it.
hmm.
And using our experience, using our resources, using our, we have got couple of people who are just doing data crunching. So
Hmm.
using all that, then we patch on to it that, okay, can you do these things?
Yeah.
Then they come back with their own thing that they can do not A, but they can do B. Then so that is how we brainstorm and make it. Because when a founder is doing it, they're with limited resources, they're doing it limited number of people. And after the initial idea, they don't share it with others. They cannot, because the idea might get leaked or something. So
Yeah,
that is where we plug in those gaps.
true.
And one more thing where I found that startup is lacking is no one creates a business plan. Most of them do not create a proper business plan. Means
Mm,
that's a whole different segment we are talking. But no one creates a simple like business model canvas, what we call. In MBA, we call it business model canvas. When a single sheet of paper, you put in why you are doing it, what you are doing it, who are your customers, revenue stream, blah, blah. No one knows how to create it, or maybe they have read it, but they say theory. Hai. But
mm,
that paperwork helps because it tells you what is lacking. So that is one thing we tell our startups to do. We give them a template that, okay, now you list out
mm,
why you're doing it, what is your USP, who's going to buy it, who you are going to source it, your whatever raw material or services you require, why will someone buy it, what are the revenue models, define the revenue models, define your competitors, even long distance competitors define. So once they start making this thing, then they themselves find out that this is lacking.
correct, correct, correct.
So it is like again mentoring them, teaching them कि बॉस ये जरूरी है, वो एमबीए में जो प्रोफेसर ने सिखाया था वो जरूरी चीज थी, ये करना है.
Noted.
So that is how we help them in converting idea by first finding out the flaws in it, helping them solve it, guiding them to solve it, and creating a business plan with them so that they themselves can find out ki what is missing.
So, moreover, it's like a reverse engineering, like the thing
Correct.
from
Yeah,
a.
perfectly put. I did not think about it. Yeah, it is correctly. That's how it is.
Well, thanks. Yeah, because at the end of the day, technically they are superb, but when it comes
Yes.
to the financially, most of the people have fear about the finance, right? And
And
after talking with, yep, with a lot of startups, they actually feel that how they can ask money.
yes.
That is
And
also.
there's another problem, which especially in, I guess in India it is there. When you're looking at finance, why do you want to go to a CA? CA is an accountant. Why don't you go to a CFA?
Mm,
There's a difference. A CA is a fantastic accountant. Means I have a lot of friends who are CA. One of my very good close friend is a CA, and they are very good accountants. They know how to juggle with taxes. They know how to do the your books. They know all that part of it, the bookkeeping part and related taxation and all those things, formation of companies and all these things. But they are not finance people. Some are good, but not as a rule, not as a generic rule.
mm,
Means there is someone known as a CFA in this world. Means there are enough CFAs roaming around in India also. There are enough people who have done CFA. Why
yeah,
don't you talk to CFAs? Why don't you talk to finance MBAs? Why
right.
you go to talk finance with a CA? CA you are supposed to go when you're talking about a company, government rules and regulations, taxations, maintaining your books, regulatory things. You are supposed to go to the CA for that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that is still a trend with people. They go to the CA for that and they ask the CA for that advice. And 80 to 90% CAs do not know because that is not the core area.
correct,
That is
correct.
not the expertise. Their expertise is something else. So why don't people go to maybe like people who have done MBA finance, CFAs? Best thing you could do is go to a CFA. They would be able to tell you how to guide. They will be able to guide you financials. MBA and CFA, these are the people who are finance people, not
Mm,
the CA. That is where a lot of startups, because they hear कि company form करना है CA के पास जाना है.
mm,
Now they ask all the financial guidance. CA is good if you are taking debt funding. So you are taking banking finance. CA is good. They know how to move around with the bank. They know what type of paperwork needs to be done. That is a core area. That is a
correct,
competence, paperwork.
correct.
But
Yeah,
finance is not paperwork.
I know you're not big enough. True.
So that is where again startups have this young startups, new startups, they have this problem. I would say around 70-80% what I've come across. People do not even know there's something known as MBA finance who can do guide them in finance. They don't know there's a CFA who can guide them in finance. कुछ भी बात करो CA.
Yeah, by default, by default.
हाँ, because that is ingrained. वो पेरेंट्स वैसे ही ना कुछ भी करना है फाइनेंस रिलेटेड सीए से पूछना है.
Right, right.
So that old times से that thing is ingrained generation to generation.
So I now that's my last question, especially in the interest of time, definitely.
Yeah.
So what trends do you anticipate will shape the future of the entrepreneurship and startup growth in the coming years?
I would say apart from the trends when we are talking, I'm not saying sectors. Means today AI and is ruling the roost, to be precise. Everything has to be AI and deep tech and all. I would say trends, the investors also are understanding and leaning more towards profit making startups. They are
Mm.
looking at a startup which should generate profit within a reasonable enough time, especially after the couple of days back when Who collapsed,
Mm.
Byju's collapsed.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of startups have collapsed. Good means good startups have collapsed because they did not have a proper profit making revenue model. They had a fantastic revenue model, but profit was not part of it.
Mm. Mm.
Means so I think from whatever when I talk to some investors and in those groups, investor groups and all, and certain investors now they're looking at company which should generate profit within a reasonable enough time instead of like 7 8 years down the line. They
Mm.
are looking at more of a traditional way of profit making. Startup should come. Uh, New technology is required. People are going to invest in new technology, but it should be profitable at the end of it. I mean, that's what everyone is looking at.
Yeah.
So I think that will shape to a certain extent only instead of that aura that this is looking good, this will look good, this is looking different, technically very strong. Yes, but now they have started asking whether you are profitable and when will you turn profitable if you're not profitable today. I have pitched to investors on behalf of a startup, and now they are asking when is the company going to become profitable.
Mm. Correct.
So, and now they are talking not EBITDA positive, now they are talking PAT positive. There's that change has come in the past 4 5 months. I've seen previously it was EBITDA positive people used to ask, now they're asking PAT positive. So
Correct.
startups will have to look at whatever technology they use, whatever new things they will come up with. They need to look at uh, making profits at
So
the end of the day.
basically, it's about adding new clients, and because from where the
Yes,
money or upsell or add new clients. So these are the
upsell or
two.
add new clients. And
Yeah.
you need to be profitable in clients. I mean, you need not come up with a solution where you end up losing on every client.
Yeah. Or to change the game. If you're in commodity, then it's a volume game. So
Yeah, means do something, either reduce your input cost or create a value for that the customer will pay you a premium.
yes, true. I agree.
Means today you are doing digital commerce, digital this UPI is so in thing. Means यदि आज वो say I think 2000 rupees or something के ऊपर they charge 1 2 rupees whatever. So
Hmm.
आज सोचना नहीं पड़ता because we have got so used to it. अभी वो जाएगा कौन, वो 2 रुपया ले लेगा, लेने दो. Zomato has started charging delivery का कुछ amount 1 2 rupees something it has started charging.
Hmm.
एक दो दिन मेरे को भी लगा था फ्री आ रहा था, 2 रुपया ही है यार, जाएगा कौन रेस्टोरेंट के नीचे,
Hmm.
पेट्रोल ज्यादा लगता है, गाड़ी निकालूंगा, इतना हेडेक होगा, जाने दो.
Correct.
Give that money. So create that value which the customer will pay you money. They'll
Right.
pay you that premium and customers will pay you for convenience. They'll pay premium.
True. No, no, agree, and that's what it has to be truly explored by the founder.
Yes,
They should know, right, why the people is not buying, or if they are buying, then what exactly the price and the value gap should be high.
yes. I will give you one small example, short in one sentence. I have a customer who's into Ayurvedic medicines.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they are into Ayurveda plus allopathy. They mixed it and made it Ayurveda as a, you can take it like a allopathy. So
Mm-hmm.
they had invented couple of different type of medicines. So they found the Karela thing was the one which was selling the maximum. Karela ya Neem, I'm not sure. Neem tha shayad, which was selling the maximum. And they found it was selling maximum because people were associating with कि diabetes के लिए help होएगा. So then they changed the whole focus. They, the next product range which they were developing वो पूरा diabetes के लिए उन्होंने develop करा.
Oh.
They realized that okay, out of these three products, this is selling because people are, it is helping in diabetes. So
Yeah.
they said, ki, why push our resources in the other two products? Let it remain. We will not expand that line now. Let us expand into diabetes line. And Touchwood means in 15 months of their operations, they are nearing 500,000 in sales without any funding. Practically, वो एक government का एक छोटा सी fund लिया हुआ है. And now we are pitching for funding for them. And 15 या 16 months में they are touching 500,000. Means just
So,
because they change their product line, that okay, this is what is selling more, so push on this, create the remaining products of this whole package, sell it.
it's about the acceptability from the customer, and that's the
Yes.
circular feedback, right? To get the positioning, right? I should
And
say.
they are profitable, means in that same field in diabetes, no one is profitable as of now. None of the startups are profitable, well funded startups. They are profitable month on month, PAT positive. Not just profitable, they are PAT positive. After
Right.
tax, they are positive. So that is how you are supposed to look at. That's why some of the investors have started showing interest who are in this field. That means I have been asked that okay, once we get a due diligence done of the books, will it be okay? मैंने कहा, means will they be okay with it? कि मतलब they wanted to say कि कितना cook करा गया book को. मैंने कहा
Mm-hmm.
nothing, means मैंने कहा they are young college students, means they don't know how to cook books. वो businessmen नहीं हुए अभी. They don't know that.
Right, right. That's a perfect example, and thank you, Avinash, for sharing your valuable insights with us today. Your journey and expertise in identifying the groundbreaking opportunities, nurturing innovative startups, and empowering the next generation of leaders has been truly inspiring. So,
Thanks
thank
for
you.
giving me this opportunity. Thanks.
Thank you so much for your presence and for sharing all the insights. And to the audience, until next time, this is Deepak Bajaj signing off. Thank you.